the way of that perfect alignment, that the mission is to be so radically clear about what outcome it is you want to accomplish, and then to rigorously track your behavior, as the science says. Rigorously track your behavior every minute of every day, every minute, every dollar, over and over and over and over again in the pursuit of that outcome. So as you reflect on these three questions, welcome as you guys are coming in. What is your SLAP goal? The first thing I want you to be thinking about as we ask that question is, do you even know it? So you cannot accomplish a goal if you cannot name it and you do not know it. In behavior change science, the very, 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 very first element that has to be true is you have to be committed to the goal. And to be committed to something, you have to actually know what it is. So if I say to any of you, or let's say Jose asked me, hey, Carissa, what's your goal? And I said, well, I'd like to grow my business a little bit. Fail. I will not grow my business. Let's say Bonnie said to me, hey, Carissa, what's your goal? And I said, well, I'd like to get a little bit more successful than I was last year. No, fail. Let's say Trayelle asked me, hey, Carissa, what's your goal? And I said, well, I made $8 last year and I'm going to make $4 million this year and I'm going to hustle and it's going to be amazing. Fail. Impossible, right? So there is so much reality that because we are not good at setting goals, we never fully commit to them. They don't make any sense. And so we never ever hit them. And the danger in that is that we build neural pathways that start to train ourselves that we can't succeed, that it's too hard to win, to succeed. That's not true. But in order to succeed, we must have a clear goal. It must be modest and realistic. We must be committed to it, so much so that we are willing to sacrifice other things so that we can take the time and money that we have in order to accomplish that goal. So, question number one, what is your SLAP goal? If you're brave enough to put it into the chat, I'd love it. Do you actually have your SLAP goal, right? A SLAP goal is measurable, realistic, time bound, right? In the context of SLAP, it sounds something like, I will make X number of sales of this thing by this date at this price point, right? That's a SLAP goal. A SLAP goal is measurable, time bound, it has a deadline, right? It is, you can afford to accomplish it. You have the time and money to invest in it. You believe in it enough that you're willing to work for it. And you genuinely understand that you can get there. Okay. So you're committed to it, time bound, measurable, you know it. So how many of you, quick show of hands, believe in your goal? Do you know your goal? Are you committed to your goal? And do you believe that you can accomplish it with the time and the money and the resources that you have? So let's explore that concept for a minute. Sandrine and then Jennifer.
Hi, do you want me to comment? So
Yeah, if you want to comment, I saw your hand go up. I'd love to. I'm seeing the comment you just put in chat. So good. There it is. That's a goal. Thank you. But go ahead, tell us more about it. The clarity is what allows for success, because then if Sandrine and I were talking and I didn't know anything about her business, but she said, I want to make $201,000 by this date, $0 in profit, it's all going to go to salaries and expenses. This is the impact I plan to have along the way. Like in 2.5 seconds, I know exactly what Sandrine's up to. I'm clear about her strategy. I probably even could imagine how I could do referrals for her, how I could support her. So her clarity allows for other people to make it actually easier to buy from her, support her, engage with her. And it makes it easier for her to figure out what opportunities make sense and what don't, right? If we don't start with a clear goal, it's impossible to align behavior against it, right? And the lack of alignment is when we feel crazy, busy, burnt out, like we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off, like we're in planning paralysis, all the things that are the opposite of progress. So that's a great example. I'm seeing Nels in here. $100,000 of speaking fees from December to December of 2024. Clear. Great. Done, right? Chandra, clear goal. Jose, clear goal, right? So if we know what it is, we can align ourselves to it. And then we know it's much easier to know what to spend time, money, and energy on in the pursuit of that outcome. What I want to comment on, because I think it's so critical and important, right? We've got goals that have been listed from 22,000, 1.8 million, 173,000, 100,000. The number doesn't matter. All of those numbers are perfect. All of those numbers are beautiful, right? We've got Slapsters that are generating in US dollar equivalency, 5,000 US dollars a month if they live in an emerging market. Slapsters up to a couple $1,000,000 in revenue and everything in between. A good goal is not a big goal. A good goal is not bigger than another goal. That we have been taught a very, very, very dumb bill of goods around this, right? That unless your top line revenue is really big, you're failing. No, that's not true. A good goal is a goal that makes sense for you, that's profitable and sustainable for your life, the life you want to live. I love that Sandrine attached her impact goal to it, right? That's tied to the impact that you want to have. And it pays your bills, it pays your salary, it creates the financial situation you want for you and your family. But that is a completely different equation for every single one of us. And this pressure we live in around top line revenue somehow making us more impressive than the other. The most impressive people I know, I could care less what their top line revenue is. What I'm impressed by is their alignment, that they've built a life and a business that is deeply aligned to the impact they want to have, the family they want to build, the mindset and wellness they want to live in, the work that they want to do. And they're just living a good, aligned, successful life. So I want massive success for every single one of us. That let's be audacious enough to define success as our wellness, our profit, and our impact align in truth for what we really need for our life. So I just want to also say that because there's so much programming that we've been fed in the world of entrepreneurship around what success looks like. Success looks like alignment, a good life, the alignment and the growth of our wellness, our profit, and our impact at the same time, not one at the cost of another. So I just want to really flag that each of these goals are equally perfect. It's not about it's not about what the goal is. It's about having it, stating it being right for you. That's what makes it the perfect goal. Okay. So we've got these goals, right? We kind of know what they are. We're getting closer to knowing them. Now, what is your current progress against your SLAP goal? So what I'd love for each of us to know, and again, let's start to practice it. If you know it, type it in if you're comfortable. But the perfect truth would be, right? I'm in Q2 and I'm at 62% of my goal, right? I'm in Q1 and I'm at 32% of my goal. I'm in Q4 and I'm at 73% of my goal, right? Because if Sharon's in Q1 and Rhonda's in Q4, their percentage of progress towards their goal, right, it has a different context. So what quarter are you in, right? How far are you into that 1 year, right, time frame? And what's your current progress to your 1 year goal? So throw that into chat for those of you who are willing. The reason that matters is that we need to know the truth, right? I always say this, the truth will set us free. Sometimes if we're not progressing the way we want, we try to ignore it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to see it. But the truth is very helpful. Like for example, right now, I am only at 22% of my 1 year goal. And I am 4 months in, right? So I'm kind of on track, but I really want to be further ahead. I wanted to be at 40% of my 1 year goal by now. And so even though you could argue that I'm not behind for the year, I'm behind where I wanted to be. And I'm very clear about why that is. I've got a bunch of stuff that's on the tipping point. It could go, it could not go. If it all closes, I'm going to wildly exceed my goals. If none of it closes, I'm totally effed. But I know that and I'm clear about it. And I'm trying to govern myself accordingly. I'm trying to spend the time and the money that I have in the way that will give me the best possible chance. And so I'm not living in panic about the worst case scenario. I'm not self-congratulating about the good things. I am just deeply aware of the truth. This is my goal. This is my current reality. This is what could go well. This is what could go wrong. And these are all the things that I am trying to figure out based on that reality so that I can live in truth and I can keep moving against the goal that I've set. And no matter what comes my way, right? No matter what closes or doesn't, no matter what gets delayed or doesn't. So there should be no charge. There should be no emotion to question number two. What is my progress towards my goal? It's just a fact. Now, the charge and the energy comes with what we do about that fact, okay? But I'm in Q1, I'm at 12% of sales. Okay, got it, right? No charge. It's just a fact. I just complete my slap build. I'm entering Q1, I'm at 0%. Makes sense. The beginning of a year, we start at 0%, we work our way to 100. First quarter, very far away from our goals. Our first quarter is about pitching a lot. Okay, so this is where, again, we'd say, right, let's make sure that our Q1 goals are set to have a very small amount of progress, and be aware of that, right? Because it always can be a little dangerous if all of our goals are scheduled to close, right, in Q3, Q4. If we back end our slap to the last couple of quarters, we just put ourselves in an increasingly precarious position. So, but again, if it's intentional, if it's the plan, we know it, we're on it, great. 13% towards revenue, great, right? 20% of my goal in Q1, great, clear. All of it is great, right? None of it, again, the thing about these numbers are we want to remove the emotional charge of being an entrepreneur from having a clear goal and tracking progress against it. One of the things I tell you guys a lot, but I'll just remind us of in all of our data that we cannot find any correlation between how we feel and our actual progress to our sales goals. So you know how you guys do pause and reflect and we ask you how you feel first? Someone could say, I'm feeling really motivated and excited, and they're making absolutely no money and making no progress to their goals. You know, I'm feeling totally stressed and overwhelmed. They're totally hitting their goals. There is zero correlation. Our feelings are very fickle friends. And so as much as possible, we want to honor our feelings. As you guys know, I'm a big believer in honoring our feelings, saying them out loud, processing, right? Building a strong mindset. But I want you guys to separate the truth of a good goal and your current reality against it and how you feel. They are not connected. They are different processing mechanisms. There's a part of us that is human that needs to be very equipped to process our feelings. And then there is our business brain that just needs to be ridiculously practical and logical. This is my goal. I think it's a good goal. I'm committed to it. I like it. It's what I want to accomplish. I'm prepared to sacrifice for it. I am all in. I will move all of my resources in the direction of this goal. This is my current reality. It is what it is. And now, what do I do with that information? Okay. And so just let's pause here for a second. I'm loving this, Karen Joseph. Great. I just read it. I love the clarity of it. Fabulous. Fabulous. Again, the truth will set us free. No emotional charge. It is what it is. If we can allow ourselves the clarity of truth, which is that's what SLAP is trying to show us, right? The clarity of truth. This is what you said you wanted. This is the progress you've made so far. Now what do we do about it? That's what SLAP is trying to offer. Clarity. Cold hard facts. Truth. Right? And to force us into alignment, sometimes in spite of ourselves, with truth in front of us, we can become very effective. That's when we get into creative problem solving and ideation and all the things that most of us as business owners think is really fun. But let's just pause for a second. And as we think about this idea, what I would love for you to believe is that it is impossible for you to increase your performance. It is impossible to effectively deploy the time and the money and the energy and the resources that you have well if you do not have a clear goal and you do not know exactly your current reality against it, right? Because otherwise, it is the equivalent of just like throwing a bunch of spaghetti at a bunch of walls and being like, oh, I wonder if anything worked. I don't even know what I'm trying to accomplish, but I'll just throw some stuff out there and see what I'll go to a networking event. I'll just call another person. I'll post on social media. I'll do an Instagram thing. What? Stop it. Makes no sense, right? All these things that business owners spend so much time and money doing, if you don't even know what you're trying to accomplish, how on God's green earth is that going to grow your business? So let's just sit with this truth for a second, and that it is arguably impossible to increase your performance if you don't have these two just truths in front of you without emotion attached. This is my goal. I am 1000% committed to it. It's measurable, it's realistic. I believe in it. I want it enough that I will move my energy against it. And number two, this is where I'm at right now. No emotional charge against it, just the cold hard truth. Here I am today in my progress and pursuit of it. That's got to be first. Two things I'll say on goals. Actually, three things I'll say on goals. Number one is the number one reason that Slapsters fail, don't hit their goals. Let's be less dramatic about it. The number one reason small businesses, Slapsters, don't hit their goals is because you guys set unrealistic goals. That's the number one reason. If you set a realistic goal, you'd probably hit it. So we have data upon data upon data. A business owner sitting at home like feeling bad about themselves because they only hit 47% of their goal that they set. But the goal they set was 500% unrealistic. So they actually made progress. They grew their business. They did better than the year before. They could pay all their bills. They employed one more person. I mean, we have so many stories of small businesses who are sitting at home feeling bad about themselves when actually they did a great job. They made progress. Their business grew, but they set an unrealistic goal and measured themselves against something that was not realistic and reasonable, and then just feel bad about it. So the number one reason that businesses don't hit their goals is because they don't set the right goals. So setting a good goal is critical, as you're bringing up, Chandra, right? And so one of the things that I think probably lots of you have gone through is that we will scour our database and just try to find goals that we don't think are realistic and like get in rooms with you guys and really try to help get your goal right. If the goal is not right, you will not hit it, right? And that's not you failing. That's a failure of the goal. It's a bad goal, right? So you need a good goal. I think that's the number one thing. And then Chandra, the second thing I would say about that is in an ideal world, when you set your 1 year goal, you hold, right? The sort of the concept in SLAP is your SLAP statement never changes, right? I've been in business for 19 years. Silver lining, sell SLAPs too, James, on a global scale, never changed. It's been the same for 19 years. So I can dedicate all of my creative energy against that one what, that one who, that one scale forever, right? It is what silver lining does. Your 1 year goal is an annual goal, right? The idea is that every year you sit back with the information you have from the previous year, everything you learned, you set your goal for the next year. But once it's set, you don't get to change it. You hold on the goal. But this is why setting the right goal is so, so critical, right? Don't set yourself up to fail. Set the right goal, right? And then the action plan is what's changing all the time, right? Cut a campaign that's not working, add a new one, try something new, right? The deployment of our time and our money and our energy is what's constantly being innovated, changed. That's where the creative juice goes. And then the caveat to all of that is when crisis emerges, right? So Chandra, you went through a major personal crisis last year. Your reality changed. Businesses that go through natural disasters, businesses that are living in a conflict zone that emerges, businesses that have a parent or a husband get really sick or a child that needs extra care, right? Like there are sometimes these major unplanned life interruptions. And if that happens, then absolutely you've got to go back and change the goal. Because when you're under that added unexpected pressure, when your time and your money and your energy is being hijacked and co-opted and diverted to manage a crisis, then you just don't have the same amount that you thought you had when you built the original goal, right? And so in those instances, we would say change your goal. But what we want for everyone in this community is to be audacious enough and truthful enough right up front that you set the right goal at the beginning of the year, and then you push, you hold yourself accountable to hitting it. But it's also worth noting that Slapsters in year like 2, 3, 4 become phenomenally better at hitting their goals because they just learn about their business so much more. So all of you in year 2, you're going to be so much more effective this year than last year, right? And then year 3 again, because you're going to know your business so much better, and so your ability to set a good goal is increasing with every year. But in an ideal world, your SLAP statement holds the test of time. Your 1 year goal is an annual exercise where you are courageous enough to be ridiculously honest and set the right goal. And then your action plan is what's changing and adjusting in lifetime all the time based on the new information you have, so that you're constantly iterating how you spend your time and your money in pursuit of that goal. Does that make sense? And then absolutely, if a reality comes in that sucks up your time and your money and your energy in a way that you did not expect in every single way in those instances, then yeah, we got to go back to the goal, because you don't have the same amount of to hit a goal. It takes time, money, and energy. You have to spend time and money and energy to hit a goal. And if your time, money, and energy are being unexpectedly taken somewhere else, the goal's got to change, because it's become unrealistic that you have enough time and energy to do it all. And that's where things start to feel really high pressure. Okay, so let's move to question number 3, because this is where the juice is. Now, question number 3, what actions are you doing that are helping you hit your goals? What actions are you doing that are not helping you hit your goals? This is the money question, right? This is it. This is the thing that we want to be asking every single day, adjusting, iterating constantly. However, right, again, if we don't have the right goal and we don't know where we're at against it, how could we ever ask this question properly? Imagine I get in a room with Katrina, and Katrina's goal is actually, let's reverse it the other way. Let's make me the bad slapster. Let's say Katrina and I get in a room, and Katrina says to Carissa, well, what actions are working and what actions are not? And I go, well, I've been going to all these networking events and I've been posting on Instagram. I don't really have any sales, but I'm really busy and I'm doing all these things. And so I'm really hopeful. What how is that ever going to work? But that, I'm telling you guys, that is what the majority of small businesses sound like when they don't have structure and support, right? Well, how are you growing your business? I'm taking some courses, I'm going to networking events, I'm in some boot camps, I'm posting on Instagram. Okay, like, is it working? Well, I don't know. I think it'll all work out. I think I'm meeting lots of people. Yeah, okay, but like, are they your ideal client? Right? There is so much time and money and energy that we waste doing things that have nothing to do with actually accomplishing our goals. And so the mission is to take all your time and money and energy and realign it, right? Shift it towards the activities that you can see are having a direct connection to hitting your goals. Now, oftentimes the truth, we don't like it, right? Lots of business owners like to go to networking events every night and like to post on Instagram. I'm not saying that those are not the right things to do. I'm just using them as the examples of the things that we just do so much of as small business owners. We like to sit on boards and committees. We like to volunteer for the local fair. We like to do all these things that we just say, well, I'm doing business development. No, you're not. You're doing whatever you want, and you cannot correlate most of it to your sales goals. So the most important question to ask yourself is, if I go look at the last 5 sales I made, where did I find that person that bought from me? How did I connect with them? What worked in getting me from point A to that money in my bank account? That is what's working. That is the only answer to the question. So when I ask you what actions are working to help you hit your sales goals, it is a logical question. You don't have to go like think about it or brainstorm or get a whiteboard out or imagine. You just ask yourself, how did I make my last 5 sales? Where did they come from? How did I find them? How did I connect with them? What did I do to get them to the point where they actually bought something from me? That's what's working. Whatever the answer is to that question, pure logic, that's what's working. Whatever that was, do more of it. And then look at your calendar and look at all of the ways you're spending your time. Look at your credit card. Look at all of the ways that you're spending your money and figure out if those every minute, right? Every minute and every hour, or sorry, every minute and every dollar is what I always say. But look at all the activities that are taking your time and your money, right? And ask, by going to this networking event, did it help me get closer to any actual sales? Not potential, maybe one day. By posting that Instagram post, has it ever helped me get closer to an actual sale? By going and doing this course, did it help me connect with anyone that actually got me closer to an actual sale? Right? And the answer is always, almost always, that when you look at the activities that you did that got you to your last 5 sales, right, compared to the activities that you're spending the majority of your time and money on, they don't match. That's why we're not growing as quickly as we want to, right? It is the disconnect of how we spend our time and our money. We, I never, listen, this is an audacious statement, but I actually think it's true. I think most of us have enough time and money, barring real personal crisis, which takes it all out of us. Most of us have enough time and money to hit the goals that we have. We're just spending it in very ineffective ways. So, what happens if you take all the time and all the money that you're spending on things that are not helping you hit your goal and you just reallocate it? You don't go get new time and money. You stop doing the things that aren't working and you take the time and your money and you spend it on the things that are working. It will instantly increase your sales without requiring any additional time or money. That's the game. To be so confident and committed to your goal that that's not even a conversation. This is my goal. This is my progress. Fact. Now, am I aligning every minute of my time and dollar of my money and all of my energy against the activities that will allow me to hit that goal? That's it. That is all that SLAP is. That's it. That's the whole premise of the whole thing is the alignment of the time and money you already have against a good goal that you are completely committed to and doing that over and over and over and over again until you hit all of your wildest dreams. I mean, that really is the truth. So, Treya, let's use your example if you don't mind. My last 5 sales have been from word of mouth, being a contractor for professional speakers and a partner with another agency to tackle a major government contract. Great. Word of mouth is referrals. So if we know that your last 5 sales came from word of mouth referrals, I would say, great, go delete every connecting campaign that you've got in your action plan that's not referral. And for the next 2 quarters, do 2 referral campaigns, right? The referral campaigns, you make a list of 100 people, you tell them what you're up to, you tell them who your ideal client is, you ask them to help, and you do 100 this quarter, 100 next quarter. If you stopped doing everything else, but you just had a cute little referral spreadsheet for this quarter and then next quarter, honest to God, I believe your business would skyrocket because you know what works. You know. So stop doing everything else. Just do that. That works. Do it. Right? This is the craziness of all of those people. We actually look at how clear that is. Referrals work for Trail. Great. So do referrals over and over and over again. Don't do anything else. Do that. And imagine how much time and money you could save, Trail, by not doing all the other things you're probably trying to do. And you just let yourself do that for a while. Your business will grow. You'll have more time. You'll have more money. You'll spend less time. You'll spend less money. Great. I see you laughing at me. What do you think about? I mean, Trail, what's your reaction to that?
I'm like, you're absolutely spot on. And I don't know why I felt like that was so far away, like, and now you just like brought it here. And I'm like, oh, that's something I can whip up real quick. And it just gave me a boost of energy and motivation to like move forward. So thank you.
And imagine the joy of deleting everything you've said you would do that you actually don't even need to do. You don't have to rebuild your website. Who cares? Referrals don't care about a website. They care about you, right? You don't have to like go, I don't know, post 27 times a day. Like that's not what's going to get you the business. You don't have whatever these things, again, these are not things that I think you're doing, but all these things that we tell ourselves we have to do, and then all the stress it puts on our plate, and then all the time and money we spend. What a fabulous example. Okay, clear. That's what works. Do that. And then you don't have to do anything else. Fabulous. How fun. How like full of freedom that is. How relieving, right? All right, let's take Sandrine's example. So we're building our offer based on feedback, things we can rapidly explain and sell to clients, building strategic partnerships to accelerate our development. But we're not doing right enough. Having a clear sales strategy and a budget strategy and a paying us salary. Great. So Sandrine, right? Like what I'm hearing is that you guys are very good at making a list, reaching out to people, getting feedback, right? Building partnerships. That's a hit list, right? So I'd say, okay, great. Maybe one of the other things that I think business owners, me too, I do this too. We must be customer centric and listen to our customers. We must be. We must be listening all the time. I will say we don't need fancy focus groups. We just need to ask our customers what they need and then give them that. And like that's right. Every single thing we've built at Silver Lining has been because amazing business owners like you have told us what you need, and then we go build that. And not surprisingly, then it works because we're building what you guys need. We're here for and with you. But Sandrine, what I would start to wonder is, could you use the fact that you guys are amazing at reaching out to people, getting feedback, initiating conversations, but actually go one step further and start to actually ask for business, right? So what I'm reading here is a hit list campaign, make a list of 100 people and start to actually pitch what you're selling, as opposed to asking what you should be selling. Because one of the most powerful ways to get feedback is to try to sell something and to let people then say yes or no and see what they're willing to buy. So you might be able to do exactly what you're doing, but just slightly shift the strategy, shift it to a hit list strategy where you're actually calling potential customers and asking them if they're interested in business. These are the things you're offering. This is what they need. Ask them what they need. And kind of keep doing this research you're in, but with the ask for a sale. So if I was changing or if I was tweaking, I'd say switch from a research strategy to a hit list strategy, list of 100 people that you'd like to work with, get in a room and ask if they have any business you guys could do together, see what they buy. And in those 100 conversations, hopefully you sell 10 contracts and also get to total clarity about what you actually can sell. So I always believe in asking for advice. I always believe in going to our customers, and bringing opportunities. I just always think ask for the sale while you're at it, because it's so much more efficient that way. And there's no better way to get really, really good advice than to ask someone for business. Then you'll know the real truth, right? Then it changes from being like sort of philosophical to, well, would you buy this? Do you need it? Right? As opposed to, do you philosophically think it's important? And that gets us right into truth very quickly. Things for all of us. One is our prices are usually too low. In general, I've never met a small business owner that's overcharging for their services in my 19 years of doing this. Every continent except for Antarctica, maybe the penguins price properly. That's our last hope on the continent of small business, but no small business anywhere is overcharging for their services. So you can probably charge more. Number one, right? That's what I'm hearing, right? Sharon, that story is very clear. Wait, I would have paid more for this. Number two, the other thing that I love is, right, you find out what the value proposition is by selling it, right? The customer will tell you what they want. Just sell things. I see so many small business owners spend so much agony and time and money trying to make sure everything's perfect. My value proposition is perfect. My website is perfect. My social media presence is perfect. I'm taking 12 more courses to make sure that I'm perfect. Everything's going to be perfect. And then I'll go make a sale. Stop it. Make a sale right now, today, right now. We're in business right now. So we need to go make sales right now. And then something won't work and something will work, and we'll learn some more and we'll adjust some more and we'll shift some more. But like, you want to be taking action every day, 2-day included, that will drive revenue. So one of the most, in fact, I've been so frustrated by this stat, not frustrated at like mad, but just like, frustrated by our tendencies as humans. I've thought about deleting all of the connecting campaigns in Slap Center that have to do with digital marketing and like connect prep, because every business on the planet stacks their action plan with like a website and a new logo and a new social media campaign. And there's very rarely a strong, even for consumer brands, even for digital people, there's very rarely a direct correlation between those things and sales. But partnerships, hit list, referrals, loyalty, upselling current customers, right? Like things that are oriented towards being bold and just putting yourself in a position to ask for sales. Those are the things that convert over and over and over again. So in your story, Sharon, right? It's your prices can absolutely go up. And by just selling something, right, you found out that you've got more opportunity than maybe you even realized. And so, great, right? How do we push against that and figure out how to build the business with that information? I also, is Nell still here? Where's Nell? I saw her for a minute. She may have just popped off. I'm going to use this example as well. Okay, she's starting her hit list. Got it. Okay, good. So yeah, so Nell needs a hit list. She's signing off to go do it. What's not working, right? Hosting non-aligned events and articles, going into rooms with people who are not her ideal clients, right? So Nell is, if you guys follow her on LinkedIn, she writes for Forbes. She's got all these things that look so fancy, right? Oh, well, if I had that, I'd be more, successful. But it takes her so much time to write those articles, and it has nothing to do with her goal, and it's not converting to sales, right? And so, as she's just articulated for herself, maybe a little less article and maybe a little more hit list, right? Again, all these things that we think are the answer. The other thing to offer you guys is the relief of, you do not need everyone to know about you. You do not need to market to everybody. You just need enough of your ideal client to know who you are and to buy from you. I don't need everyone to know about silver lining. I don't. I could care less if 94% of the world knows about silver lining. But I really want small businesses who have existing businesses that want to grow them and generate revenue. I need them to know about me. So what is the most effective way that I can find small business owners with existing companies that are organically growing that want to grow? That's the only question I need to be asking myself. I never think about reach. I never think about exposure. I never think about my brand. Like I don't, it's irrelevant. It's so silly. It has no bearing on my ability to grow my business and have the impact I want to have in the world. And so it's really audacious, very against it's very counterculture to release the idea of a personal brand and reach and exposure and making sure as many people as possible know about us, and shifting to a mindset of using the time and the money that we have in the most specific way possible, in the most targeted and aligned way possible, to just connect with our ideal client and nobody else, to just talk about what we do and nothing else, right, on the scale that we've set. There is so much freedom in imagining that you don't have to talk about what you don't do. You don't have to talk to who is not your ideal client, right? You have the benefit and in fact the requirement of being that focused so that you can actually use the time and money you have to get to the outcomes that you want. So, we talk about this slap a lot. No is way more powerful than yes. I would guess that on average, myself included, about 80% of the things we say yes to, we could say no to. Take that time and money back and actually increase our success, right? We think we have to say yes to more to increase our success. Say no to more to increase success. So the most powerful question we're going to just pause here with, Columbo is going to record these answers and hold you guys accountable to it. We're going to put it into your sins, your client, your notes. What is the number one thing you need to say no to? What do you need to resign from, quit, delete, end? What is the number one thing you need to say no to? What is something you are spending time and money on that has zero direct impact on your goals? So put it in chat if you are so brave, and let us hold you accountable to that. Let us give you support on that. Ooh, Shayesa started strong. Anyone who asks me for a favor or help with their tasks, great. Speaking for free. Yes. Perfect. Okay. What else? What else can we just forget? Like no more. Yes, meeting new people and new service providers. Oh my God, that's a good one, right? How much time can we all spend thinking we're like building our network, making sure we know enough people, we've got enough resources, and we're just avoiding sales, right? Many of us, we are all very clever humans. We can come up with a lot of very good ideas to avoid making sales, all of us. It's like if only we could all make money on that, we'd be so rich, all of us. What else? What else can we just absolutely stop doing? Get acquainted calls on Tuesdays. Yes. Those get acquainted calls. Good Lord. Yes. Business services for free, Katrina. Yes. To pop-up shops if your ideal client's not going to be walking by. Yes. All business is not good business, right? This idea, all PR is good PR, all business is good business, all money is good money. No, it's not. That's not true, right? Good PR is PR that your ideal client reads. Good business is profitable sales connected to your SLAP goals by your ideal client. Everything else is a waste of time. We don't make Coca-Cola maybe can afford to make sure that everybody knows about them and all PR is good PR and all business is good. That's not us, right? We're niche. Our benefit is by being able to be specific. That's what makes you special. If you don't own your niche and get really specific, you actually water down what makes you so special and interesting, actually. Okay, as we keep saying no to the things that we're not going to do, go ahead with this survey that Colombo just put up. That's also Colombo trying to shut me up. Do you see what's happening here? I see you. I see you, Colombo. I'm listening. Yes, Sandrine. Exactly. Right. Trying to get something to perfect instead of just getting it out. 100% of the time, the answer is just start, just call, just go. 100% of the time. Yeah, Maria, exactly the same, right? So Sandrine and Maria, exactly. Diana, I have 3 events on Saturday. One event is passing flyers for me. New partnerships have an event. All has a segment of my ideal clients. I am attending. Okay. So Diana, it sounds like you're actually feeling like you're in the right track on Saturday. Is that right? That you've got 3 things stacked that are in the right direction. Great. So then my challenge to you is track what comes out of it. You've got this big day of connecting opportunities. How many tangible deals come out of it? Can you track revenue to that great day? Because then we'll learn about what about that day was successful and what about that day somehow didn't work. Maybe you'll learn that the flyers really worked, but the partnership didn't. The partnership really worked, the flyers didn't, right? We want to get down to the nitty-gritty of what exactly is working so we can be so targeted in doing that thing better. Okay. Okay. So, right. So what we're going to want to, so Diana, the question I would ask when you get home on Saturday night, how many new leads do I have for summer camp Legos? That's the question, right? And of the ones that I got, how did I get them? Because they read a flyer, because I stopped them at the front door, because they saw a logo. What exactly worked? Because then the next time these events come up, you can be even more targeted about how you show up, right? Is it a flyer? Is it attending? Wait, what we want to know exactly what is working. That is the game. The game is to figure out exactly what works to find new clients. It's like a game. Scheduling more sales calls, Tamara, absolutely. 100% of the time, the right answer is more sales calls. Being on the phone, trying to make a business deal happen of some sort, right? That's exactly. Okay, so as we wrap up, I'll give the floor back to Colombo for the closing, reminders and announcements. But the mission is to let the cold hard truth just tell you the truth. You don't have to be that clever to be successful. You just have to be honest. What is my goal? Where am I at right now? What is working? What is not? Realign time and energy on the things that work, even if they're not sexy and fun, and stop doing the things that don't work, even if they're sexy and they're fun. And if we literally just do that every month over and over and over again, it is insane how much progress you guys can make. I mean, it really, really is. So let it be beautifully simple. That is the challenge. Actions equal results. Whatever results you have today are the result of the actions you've taken so far. If you like the results, do more of the actions that got you there. If you want the results to change, you have to change the actions that you are taking. Actions equal results. And then we just tweak. Okay, Colombo. Guys, talk to you later.